But one thing so say you determine say player offside and I say or onside no. You heard time
no player no kick ball. Anytime make us say o share video na beginning the buy na me join say offside. As no lead kakra time or pass but so we time am slow pass no. Esan slow run no. Who say any offside go.
Who say tight so who blame
tight. Any tight cra.
But in this case who say lines ni mum na nka was of what.
I say the all video ni bibia no. So nya hu a na adwen be ne say
I think say wider angle na ebe ma clear because say offer close shots now. One when you better say you're offside because
from from TV3.
Yeah.
And TV3 for now and Ghana for me. Okay.
Hasi no. So what's the pass? Come on.
Okay, into hand na pass. Go back.
Ujina pass na.
Ujina pass na ma ya.
Coach Kakrebi na.
Because o say nice go. Say Ghanaian player who composer we nya ye boss no nya botre. How you do na ye ho ye den. Pray. The debut can know fantastic debut.
Well, ball abon easy.
Into go back kakra na yenhwe we no. Ubegyina time na Sibo.
Almost start say ko enim kakra sa wider angle.
Wider angle no.
I think
Sibo pass.
Anyway ya. Ko enim. Yon ko enim. I think say the last part of the angle no.
Any last part angle okay.
From this angle the overdoing say you're offside.
And na make no.
But wider angle na bar no won't say after this
okay.
So watch the wider angle. When the wider angle no will give you a perfect understanding of the whole issue. Hase no be huni.
Okay,
so born be
now Zibo afa ball no. Manemra my ball nemra me di
from Yerinchi to Zibo.
Manenu Zibo ho.
Okay, so
now Zibo ni.
Drew Hase no onye off. And Zibo pejaniti.
Okay.
Sa obeba pass. So watch this.
Matama Zibo and ebe kan ball na man 9 ka ball no. Man 9 tra baby a main line no no na emra nanim kakra be say e ya touch ball no yenhwe baby na ayigina.
I think kamu komani ma na so Zibo na afa ball 1 come man call yanko kakra na ma pass no. So I think it's quite obvious. Offside. Enye offside back okra. Enye offside back okra.
Lines ni mum na know the better view.
Because lines man we baby ojina ye pa. Ojina ye.
Lines ni mum the better view say.
Yeah, and the lines ni do view ni ye kra chain obia because say ono the baby ojina no.
But no so na pajai.
Ono the pajai. Enja make us say un say idea ba ko about officiating here say center referee on offside. Center referee offside. Lines mum ana eje.
Wait me ebu ne egusu.
Obetime vampire say mostly lines na eje. So by any time bia e be kasa abo we dey off and I say onside no. Na e tie blame center referees no. By mostly na enhwe lines no because in this case no lines ni mum na e the better view because before the ball kukura
you got the stage dey close. E say the say ohwa sorowa obenye so obi ani ase ha sa player no omole back no and ma player no onside it is a kava ma
anko ba ko hwe
eva wo mdi anka Ghana nyako come to us
good. I think say prepare your national team na dey call FIFA World Cup rally as you said African Cup of Nations ni enko bi so say Blasters is here kan anka by this time ni na preparation be say you prepare for African Cup of Nations but you enko bi so your concentration in na World Cup you ba performing US, Mexico and Canada. Your boy your first game against Japan elusu ye. The general performance of the senior national team wasn't the best. Oma na was see a ball mabaso your boy. Baby I was see a criticize. Nyoma ya nye ni ye kan. By playing against South Korea ye lusu ye nyina ejitum. But I think na the general performance of the senior national team. Se o de compare ye ne Japan game ne di abeka se eye. O hwe your first game your boy against Japan. Now they hwe any game na. General performance no. I think na you okay with it.
Come o kan sa so am so me no nya adwen because Japan ye better than South Korea.
Okay.
De me chono what say because Japan for no was soro. Echen Korea. Enti so o ka say na yene compared to Japan no we ye ade change Japan was so bebre enti obetima ka say then South Korea so form
baby I'm go now free ban meti ase but baby am sumi free ban ye say nioma mistake ba ku mienu miense bi ani ye no against Japan me mu say ya correct
okay
enya about say opponent ni ni hia no by nioma ba ku mienu miense bi na e wo say ye boy against Japan a ye nya ne ye no ye boy Korea na de no me say ya correct which I believe that's the angle I'm me free ba because Ken Korea de say South Korea de Ghana ne omo de ye tie show Korea enfa ho so omo form kai tie show mo even before this game say your previous 5 games are any South Korea bono na e win for no ye lose one enti Korea your mind back a Ghana dominate omo in terms of results but Ken the first thing I'm noticing here say many J lineup omo de chance na ase no I think your first game ni your second game no lineup here the ball ene de no na hodin wom sen ye ne Japan de no based on lineup na you use ye no na hodin wom sen your first game na your boy no baby a many je kese pa na your first half no I think your first half na here no so here na Blasters air trendy because of the kind of performance on the by the first 45 minutes no ade am notice ni ye say your first half ye ne Korea boy no me win ye say on say ye bo Prince Edu Kwabena ana na lead attack no ye ne Japan for ne no mistake ba kwa me notice ipa na ye say how one ye organize ye ho a ye defend na ye very poor by any game na me hwe ye no organization in terms of defense at least na ye and there omo ye ni ye say omo ball one top ye Prince Edu Kwabena na o de anim ho no obo Prince Owusu ejina na chi so anytime bi ana Blaster say be defend bi ano against a Korean no Prince Edu Kwabena e drop kakra ebeka ye midfielders no because oma eye bonsuba anoma kama odin e redraw kakra no ma ba beka Calabria nchi won finfion na Prince Owusu aba beka ho so ye defendia omuja Prince Edu Kwabena wanim ho na Prince Owusu aba ekire ho no ma ba be ye 4 na Sibo so ejina the back four nanim so na in the first 45 minutes no the first thing I noticed was the shape and ye defend no na ye use 4-1-4-1 and na ye defend and the first 45 minutes can the shape and ye defend and say and your opponent na me show by me show positives and wom say the first 45 minutes the reason why obi ohwe game ni bia na nani age Ghana ball no ye say obo ball na u shape and time say ya at least players need pay attention to details so the first 45 minutes say you defend here a 4-1-4-1 Prince Edu Kwabena be gina nim ho Prince Owusu we draw beka Calabria nchi ho Kamaldin ana bonsuba na Sibo was so the back four and the first 45 minutes our structure no and you use ya so check here na first half aye dene e dey ama Korea for ne say on betima breaking because na Ghana leave little spaces for them to utilize which I think say na a positive on the part of the senior national team and the force Korea for ne say the young long boss ento mo jebo ni bia na fe do mo locate son you mo because on be here long boss no and sa long boss na and working for South Korea so the first half ye shape no now I was very impressed with Air Blasters shape no we shouldn't forget say again initially na me say South Korea for no in as much as me ditum say Japan for no modern one was say omo no equally omo good individual materials o metima ha wadwen so you mean any bad player so you mean me nya sure say Blaster players almost say so obi level bro no Oma omuni omusi akan ne no obi no oben say won yimi Kimi J e wo ho a top player e wo si akan de ma Bayern Lee Kan in e wo si akan de ma PSG so I think say omu players no me very good by how the first half you see continue no na you positive on the side of the senior national team and again another positive you say so what ye ne Japan na ken ye je ball na ase ye ho players ye njai ball ni muntem entina ma ye lose balls ni bebre in your first game na boy no by any game no ope team ba kwa omo ulusu bombe how adwen pa na Korea for ne ka ho bio se woni Korea for si akan a irrespective of omo form no so omo ne omo ba ombe try so ombe gire waje ball ba ne game ni mi hu si etimi kura ball ni bi e progress e ball no ni etimi run with the ball but compared to your first game ni etimi nya sa de
and then Kamaldin Suleiman I think one of the best players is Nana
and then debut
and then Caribbean Mawai Sibo ewan finfin na wai
Sibo bobo Calabria nchi
you nchi ni Sibo en finfin no
bobo Calabria nchi bobo
yeah
yes
okay So okay, they do the final delivery now. Since I castle Akeno, or yeah, Jumaning, Akeno.
Yes.
Kamadi minimum say we do time we do work up and improvement aba. So unim finishing there obey plan obey
because
ne dia na say aye say jiku dia na bana ana
jiku say opa say jiku esi for o dey compare jiku dia initially obey adwuma ni nyina by finishing na akwa issue no. When say come out this Obeka ya share the first goal the senior national team. How our players in now celebrate
because almost onim otimi bibia.
Ade na all patch. And that's why desperate so also she goals.
And that's when you be me no otimi run
na execution we cry na eben ho kakra na de na eben ho kakra. By now I say onya that precision na akwa issue. So kakra beba de so chedi acheba
ne dia chedi
yenya ne mujidi ansa na yebenya Osman Bukari kura mujidi.
Oh yeah.
But Osman period ke krebi no bobo Black Stars de na Kamal did ye pay free the one.
Osman
be the man MI goals even at the World Cup.
And even Osman say Osman cried the cry say no. Osman de na on cry new obi obeka say oye regular starter. Any minute be remember Osman Bukari be free bench baby no be impact. Or you very productive.
Yeah, you are right.
Or you very productive. And baby are not onya goals so big stage.
Yeah.
World Cup Osman Bukari
exactly.
Big stage.
Exactly.
No assessor game the amount.
See that kind of player no. Or you impactful in terms of ABA obia game no mu bia or the pace ebe boa Ghana no. And you be the Yeshe Kamal Dins because say Yeshia team best sit deep because and then for instance it was maybe now Korea for no Ghana Jebola almost sit deep. Say in that situation or no. Say yes sir Kamal Din finding space is very difficult. But game no mu bia and one any strength. It is out to me carry ball now ko draw any more. Now final decision now ko ye problem. Then we are going to find difficulties. In tenye nasam ache we need to start seeing improvement because say omo ball the Kamal Din a senior player will move.
Yeah.
Apart from Gideon Ming Sebeka son wa bobo na Kamal Din a senior player.
That's it. We cry your first game or captain be na.
A senior player. It's no they are more Canadian. Say you go so train no.
The profile na you me.
Fast
big ni profile you too. Joseph Pencil so kasa profile no. Omo fa ball na omo run bebre. Omo fa ball mutimi run mutimi dribble because you say football no omo dey jino so. Those type of players no omo dey jino so. Me for this no dey ye ni beda your friend saying party mo any mfimfim for no beda ndo omo ho aba omo da omo ho wi a hwe ma bi mo. So such spaces na anya den. Some players na run here. Ye ball no be say ye under okay papa ba kona na party mo jeba omo nyobi am pass. So these players omo ye key omo run omo create space. Omo fa ball mutimi attack defenders. So what you say and also create space. But when your spaces are best players to say kudu so money we mo mutimi operate.
Can I think that Kamal Din as a player was on one gasa buana ho. Because I only ma bi ho menye coach na kire. Coaches ni be your ma familiar. But most of these things or most of these conversations omo ye be expect say coach be kire omo sa na ma na be ye e some of our local based players. But baby Kamal Din abobo akọ nkura wasi akan wato teams a wabọ no eje so no ahya ase ye ne ho adwuma ma memfa Sibo nya example ya criticize Sibo e woni distribution ho but then so we Sibo a na the distribution is different
pass na them are you
we improve on the distribution
or pass
at least yes ono ankasa as a player criticism na eba no wahya ase a oye ho adwuma Kamal Din de na kwaku kan no ache o quality ni wo ho talent ni wo ho ade a obehia from a typical winger Kamal Din will be pace dribble but what we ni nyina na obedru po na nim no the final delivery so or pass assist and also no one can say no na kwa ye problem
and na me doku asem na me kan
Jeremy Doku
doku na me kan won say oyo et set man of France no raw football na dribble sa ono so final win team but so say this season enema sesa kra
won say Doku ni Kamal Din omu nyina ye Rene guys
okay
omu nyina free baby faako na Doku nya Pep Guardiola but even Doku last year na ontwa tewu no it was much better than what Kamal Din is giving us you see me expand the conversation call the general wingers na ye wona I am beginning to have certain issues be kakra ken ya wingers no babu nso on say anye speedster star do or running for ball but or a type ni bia or baller or person catty in or facing defender or dribbler basically the first attribute uhu babu nso o body din e beta ho e dribbling and he does that very well.
The ball na say I Savino di bia
I want na meba
City Savino
ono so the final decision a problem because when we say or a dribbler or per dribbling or dribble fine pa but the final decision I am beginning to find issues kakra wo
when to pass when to shoot
when I am a winger Bobby Owa I need to wait and watch my striker move into space before I pass ebi Owa was me cut in ebi Owa I was say me unpredictable me call me right na my cuts back
okay
inti sa final decision you know the same way Kamaldeen was giving us on the left because we are able to take on defenders but when to shoot when to pass was a bit of a problem for instance near can your striker na some Prince Edu Kwabena in the first half na say na nka ball bebre though na Ghana for your boy and one basso we say we're playing well because ball no call wingers no bebre but yen na kasa say ball no be penalty box no ma the nine back cabin was a bit of a problem because in the first half I could count only three touches ni enya won for the penalty box no just 3 Kamaldeen him say Kamaldeen ya 2 and Babu sunya 1
okay
inti I think say yenya a decision making right where your wings were then our attackers will begin to move into spaces get into better positions to score inti Kamaldeen dia na ye ka no or problem but it was a Christopher Babu so they started and can because born na boy no ebe ya pass Kwame me patro check ma Mrs. ya check statistics say your ball shot on target say yes ya ball pa me nye sure say your shot on target e be do 2 mpo but on say Ghana ni o hwe ball no obedwin say Ghana ball Ghana played well patro say
1
so who on problem ayo inti o check game no ankasa na if you enjoy the football you might think Ghana played well shot on target yeah but 1 that was even in the first half
and talking about the wingers no so what check here recently Ghanaian wingers are big in Kwaku kin one notice so may improve pano Joseph Pensu na Isahaku Ghanaian wingers are so may improve
but I still think that Kamaldeen count
me wingers are yekas on say your wingers ni yekas omoje ball omutimi take your opponent
omoni bibia
aka the final decision so among your wingers and anse use ni nyina no ma hu say o may improve on that aspect
final decision
about goals in system okay Joseph Pencil and so I check here recently your boss are able to see Joseph Pencil free bench baba otim be assess be create chances she Isahaku Nancy
Isahaku he trained under Mariska you can also imagine the Mariska actually no chere na there for 1 year won say Isahaku o piefi Mariska na se ne won say the ball improve year pa
so 2 players no
and sometimes the coaching is also very important because if you say ka doku asemi Pep Guardiola and bibia ka the ball no
omo fa otuado ase nyina oyire ho kakra bia obehu ade because ono so e teacher trem kura de kama nti otuado so ayobia oye player na wakana wati so what you say
so otuado na also wings we been so on one kwada no
otuado wins no one send the no send ball na slow but okura ball so awon jim finish otuado so na strength no on sable but when team to say American na we must to into bia on so the profile different
profile exactly
so, big
Ken I think the Prince Edu Kwabena had a fairly good game. But now Kweku Kasim be especially about the first half. Balls are receiving, you know. I never quite realized yes, he played like an island. First half especially. Ball no Nkubiana na ka ono kwa. And or kwaya na Korea for the first your build up. Now no more you to the 3-2 build up. Most of the time no akwa between the 3 and then the 2 nim fin. Now other Black Stars players ni na weche. enti ekoko basa na wanya the needed supporter and how be pon game no be cast striker na nya de ade ba kwa ye de ball na baso pa yes
the ball no be ba na wie no ense sa ball na kai ho so we striker ball no to wani bebre o ana wadwen ma ye ball no so we striker because they say Jordan de na wonya goals no bebre no unhu ba bia obi free aba because opi ba edu ba bia na wakɔ nanim edu ba bia na wapie wabɛka build up no ti sɛ wo be striker ti sɛ ugina nim dia bigi one we asa na beba wo ye be wi no
isolated and that was the perfect because
he
was against three defenders three
ononkwa enti it is up to other players and as a technical team ne say omo be ma at least nipa na no bo as supporting striker na ye Prince Owusu ono no be get a bit closer no one link between midfield no any the striking department then yes I ka ono nko no matter the strength you have can say oje ball no na only defenders three a unya otiri ni dim
so no kemenja akra betim na ono nko abo
yes
oye no ho adwuma pa
so wo enti ade a ye de ball na ba so ye goal na o share ye na ya anye no at least the kind of composure you see here when you go closer to the 18-yard area and the calmness any BBR. But aside and on say only a lot of the balls as a number 9 for Black Stars, na a problem.
And again, Adeba Kwamani John so no one say na unlusu ball no.
Yeah.
Oje ball na very very important at the highest stage.
Yeah.
Aya na hwekwanya African countries in your consider goals or World Cup. Aya one mistake pass bi call you be ntimi anya den. Obi lusu ball na ye gi ya show.
Sure.
So small details are very important. The player who grab a young Jim Finn in some day.
When the reason why Prince Edu Kwabna enter in Lusu balls no. Prince Edu Kwabna mi minim no from betim. Our bono minim ne pa. Two players are or show mo ball pan your video pan. Eye Suarez ne Asamoah.
Okay.
Ono na o show mo so ball mo ball. Enti so wahwe Prince Edu Kwabna ne ni eden ni bibia ekoyete se Suarez. Ana udnya opportunity bia in front of goals akwa yete sa Samoja. And one positive thing a Ken game ni me hu ye no. Otuado Calabrianchi and will be a can asem because we use no one favorite position. In for Calabrianchi right back on your right back who?
Yanko
Oh, sec on your right back
position better on Kobo.
Ken metiase
ko we mo ba
metiwase
Metiwase.
But if you want to get the best out of your players, make sure so bit me use one position a bit bring the best out of them. Because so you soon out of position. Now you coach now kulusu match unye be blame. But you soon on a natural position and say position or a bit favor na obit me your results the amawa. Who coach ne boa.
But see I hand over to no.
So but who baby or boy no ene in finfion. O man boy as a boss to boss. Your team in finfion in na o create 3 chances.
Okay.
Or support it. On one night support Ali do say
na passing games ni nyina ma
any wa bobo finfion apart from penalty na okoko say no ball na calibre nchi abon. And if o person nya the best out of him atama ye call London Ekobo sa charity tournament no the man obeka Blasters no was ne performance or the mai and oba ni nyina ni nsu right back games ni wo ekoye ebi wo
big bra we odia na edosemra na me comments here
me biggest and I say make say me highlight of the game was about Benjamin Asare.
Oh, Benjamin Asare.
Yes, seriously speaking. Benjamin Asare is one goalkeeper. America Kenny. On only goalkeeper what that Black Stars post Mama GDA kakaba ni mo. But the question I know
Atizigi you call World Cup Atizigi born abaso bebre. Ade na moye sa.
Can say time will be a
big ade na moye sa.
Ebre bia na de ba. E na de ba so de.
Atizigi che ball amu nyina kro ma mo jeja form o TV.
Aye. But when was the last time Atizigi nya GDA didn't to Black Star post? The Benjamin Asare and the Nandi Padodo can say, oh, Benjamin Asare, money there. World Cup will be to me a boy and any idea. These are some of the countries I know we share World Cup in him. Korea and team be a Bruce Bibri, I no credit. But at least remember that kind of test of other teams are possible. So you be World Cup money be and until I'm proud to World Cup, your both friendly matches BTCC. And the performance he gave. It will go post him. It was good. The confidence. It will go post him. It was good. The movement and the anticipation. Now only time I said so. PF free to go post him. Echo for balls. The aerial duels. Any idea? It was good. It was on point. And I'm very happy about the kind of performance I ordained. Go now consider and no problem kaka. and so will go no, but at least not positives the doors of chain make us go back on our concede, you know. And the defensive organization was super. And so our Black Stars defense now, they were well organized. And defense, you know, organized most of the time. And you goalkeeper don't necessarily control back line. No? Because control back line here, who goalkeeper and a pressure mouth.
Players, when say, big was some okay on Mate. Now, I am a day, send them away, Edema players, no. And Kebabo Lusua and Kayamebo players abaso.
Debbie,
but Sana Ghana 40. Almost share the way. Almost say, oh, yeah, do to me.
Sure.
And Anya day. Anya ye.
Sure.
Into your loser against Korea. But that's will be your Bibiana and Fano.
Debbie.
Or Fana say, eh. Nti se do baby na so kobona anye yi na omo ka na chese omo hu spirit na na omo yeden omo pe no enkwa no mbobo se most improved Ghanaian player se Sibo every game bi obebo bia every single game the ball no bia na yeden e be ka ho nti so san koso a ye adwuma den training yi
sure
so betimi a maintain his position I think say we had so much
a lot
game no
a lot
e wan finfio mani age iranchi de no yes, so to me ball right, it me ball or opportunity. World Cup on a no be key because so to me ball and fin, it me some boss are right back. Ball be biabo because tournament there. Your ball first game, your second game na as a team na the obedi yellow card me no day.
And just to chip in about Sibo Diana na Keneka no. On say Sibo enya opportunity ball blasters no. Obi oheni bia say eya oji ball na passes no e wo say ko onim say na me sheda Sibo say patterning by infinfio no o ma 55 passes out of that 55 passes no emu 4 penny say
55
onyemu 51 na ye accurate
Sibo
yes
me say na passing no I improve
oh na one pass or the come
pass I go no by I do come go no. Well, and no, Ghana, your national team, the Messi Abba, your Bessia Babba to us from French, or the stories be brave and so before Ediaba. Minimsa Ghana, yen game no, you lose with the about impress. Adiaba Kwana and ye, and it's about 2 games, yen go. Nemum almost na yakwa say second team and ana air ball and against a Korea your main team no but me ba sisi a ma me fa booking course no
2 minutes
so
mo kan sam MC refi one angle and person me boys na baso 2 center backs no
yes center backs no
I think say Jonah Ajete
is solid
na Opon Pepra
Ken no me solid
mo impressive yeah
na omo bobom da
this is their first
time
because na Japan you bought 3 at the back and I said 5 at the back I was not so much comfortable but coach ni nya gidie Opon Pepra hu afei na or introduce no what Black Stars anymore obo of French league Nice obo de bia and now no money PAG last minute and a PAG for no a show he's one guy who has been solid in the French league but only opportunity to a Black Stars
okay
me can the studio say we already know say Salisu Jiku dear omo kwa no possibly akabe slot be mienu anansa miensa intina a way to justify unim said ne in the first half yeah back line almost restricted Korea to only just three touches in Ghana's penalty box in the first half inti yeah can 2 center backs no impressive
your players no your mama baso I think will be justify a World Cup time it is justify you know because in Kofa could justify the reason tears of Mokobi tears also justify the reason tears a plane also a day Ofrobi Mame emfa course no member sisi ameba ye besia ba beto Ghana yon common ho yon common so unya player bia na so hu player bia woni